Not one major media outlet covered the pro-life marches on Washington and the West Coast March for Life last week. What had the mainstream media's attention was Justin Bieber's DUI arrest for drag racing his yellow Lamborghini and smoking some weed, popping pills. This is what they care about, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they want you to focus on, ladies and gentlemen. Not important things. In fact, MSNBC was so attentive to the Beeb that they interrupted a segment on NSA Big Brother spying to get us this important breaking news. And then it comes down to this whole issue of life. Life is the most important thing on Earth. Well, you would have to agree with that, wouldn't you? I mean, is there anything more important than life? But it's okay to assess it in such a way, or to put out such a message in the media that it's okay, that you can, it's choice is the most important. It's a woman's right to choose. Let me tell you something about some statistics that are unbelievable. Do you realize how many people, women who have abortions, then suffer their whole lives with drug abuse, anxiety, and depression? Here's an interesting article. A provocative new study shows that women who have an abortion face an increased risk for mental health problems, including substance abuse, anxiety, and depression. Results indicate quite consistently that abortion is associated with moderate to highly increased risks of psychological problems subsequent to the procedure. This was in a study, the September 1st issue of the British Journal of Psychiatry in 2011. And for the study, researched data on 877,000 women, including 164,000 who had an abortion. They found women who had an abortion experienced an 81% increased risk for mental problems. Women who had an abortion were 34% more likely to develop an anxiety disorder, 37% more likely to experience depression, 110% more likely to abuse alcohol, 115% more likely to commit suicide, and 220% more likely to use marijuana. So what this says to me, and maybe this will enlighten you, is that there's a pharmaceutical and, of course, medical profit to this whole situation, where you're going to have women that get abortions. They have to pay for the procedure through either insurance or through their pocket or from welfare. These women coming down with all of these maladies that must be treated with pharmaceutical drugs for the rest of their lives. So, of course, the abortion, not only it's like a home run. It's like a home run. They get the depopulation, they get the money for the procedures, and a lifelong big pharma patient. That's what they get, ladies and gentlemen. The left is just a myriad of hypocrisies. I mean, there's a war against motherhood, unless you're a lesbian mother with a lesbian lover, or now, of course, a lesbian spouse. In fact, as insane as this sounds, and it is absolutely insane, it's again this logic of trying to save humanity, create this utopian world by addressing every issue under the earth at the expense of the taxpayers and the expense of the citizenry. There's a law proposed in Colorado to require those legal pot smokers over there to take classes before getting married. These classes would, of course, have to be paid for by the bride and groom-to-be to help ensure their compatibility and domestic tranquility. You cannot make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. You just cannot. I mean, freedom is being taken away, and control and social control of society is out of control. It's unbelievable. So it's okay, to have, two daddies or two mommies, and that's a nice normal family, but the actual family that needs procreation requirement is being decimated. This is all part of an insidious plot. Now, if you start putting these pieces together, take your time. What happens if you have this type of society and it sort of catches on with the kids that are being raised by these, same-sex couples? Now, God bless them, and they have a right to their freedom and everything else, but understand that what this will result in, if we let marriage and morality and the family between a man and a woman, marriage is between a man and a woman. If two lesbians want to get together and they want to, be married, They can have a civil union, and they should have all the rights and privileges of every married couple. It doesn't have to be marriage. They want to redefine this, and there's an insidious plot behind it. And we're going to go into this deeply. And in 2011, about 827,000 women had an abortion in the U.S. Now it's up to 1.2 million in only 3 years. And what is even more astounding to me is how those on the left who, we must ban guns, high-capacity magazines, AK-47s, we have to keep our children safe. They're all about keeping the kids safe, but they're the ones that are supporting murdering children who have been conceived. I mean, my viewpoint on it is if a child has a heartbeat, it is alive. And then again, you have this repercussion of the trauma. It is a psychological trauma. It is absolutely akin to rape or akin to witnessing a horrible event. It is a traumatic experience that the medical community tries to downplay. But they are culpable too. Truly culpable for murdering an unborn child.
On this day, Lord of hosts, bless your gathered servants, and let their testimony reach those most in need. Civil authorities who have legislated against the rights of the preborn. Jurists who have adjudicated against the sanctity of life. Physicians who have not healed, but have brought harm and death. Parents who have made choices to end life in the womb, some callous and self-interested, others tragic and conflicted. Young persons raised in a culture that espouses a right for some to kill. Bring about repentance, a change of mind and will for all those who out of profound ignorance affirm a right to end the life of the preborn, who champion voluntary abortion, and who defend the indefensible. Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do.
Now, if you start putting these pieces together, take your time. What happens if you have this type of society and it sort of catches on with the kids that are being raised by these, same-sex couples? Now, God bless them, and they have a right to their freedom and everything else, but understand that what this will result in.
As you watch this piece, remember, you helped pay for it.
Whoa, guy, where's the prophylactic?
What do you mean?
Look, oral sex is still sex, okay? If it's unprotected, you gotta reject it.
What? What? But I didn't even spew.
Guys, doesn't matter. Look, if you're having sex or you're getting some blowjays or whatever, you need to use a condom, because you could catch a sexually transmitted infection, even if you don't spew.
If we let marriage and morality and the family between a man and a woman, marriage is between a man and a woman. If two lesbians want to get together and they want to, be married, they can have a civil union, and they should have all the rights and privileges of every married couple. It doesn't have to be marriage. They want to redefine this, and there's an insidious plot behind it. And we're going to go into this deeply.
The majority of people in Colorado voted for abortion. I think the majority of people in Michigan voted for abortion. I think in both cases, well, certainly in Michigan, they will vote for it because they think that what's going to be aborted generally are the little black bastards. As I told you, we talked about it earlier, that a hell of a lot of people want to control the Negro bastard. Yeah. Isn't that really true? So we know what we're talking about, population control. Sure. We're talking really, and what John Rockefeller realizes. But the people in what we call our class control their populations. Sometimes they'll have a family of 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, but it's exceptional. The people who don't control their families are people the people that shouldn't have kids. Now that's the black population. Black in the city of San Francisco has gone from 3,000 right after World War II to where they represent 30% of the population of San Francisco.
2007. Live action films of
The
California.
craftiness and
conducted an
insidiousness of
undercover
these evil,
investigation
conniving,
of Planned
genocidal
Parenthood offices in
psychopaths is
several states.
unparalleled.
Under
They
the
are
direction of the
eugenicists,
organization's
obsessed
president,
with the
Larry
problem
Rose,
of
the goal of
overpopulation.
the project was to determine whether Planned Parenthood
These obsessed
would accept
lunatics
financial donations on the
are
condition
targeting certain
that the money would
communities,
only be
races, and
used to eliminate
ethnicities.
African Americans.
In different parts of the world. Henry Kissinger went on record with this. It's in the intro part of many of the Truth Talk News segments. It has, the New World Order has different characteristics in different parts of the world, ladies and gentlemen. The Club of Rome was created to do something about the population problem in the Third World. And through this, what they've done is, in 1974, Henry Kissinger wrote Memorandum 200, outlining the plans to basically starve and depopulate that way. So while everyone's sending money to UNICEF and all of these Christian Children's Fund and all of these other front organizations of just siphoning off the money, these people are being depopulated. And you wonder, why is all these people, for many, many decades, money has been given to these organizations, and there's still poverty in the world, and there's all this money, and everyone's so wealthy. In the United States, look how wealthy we are. Come on, you're so wealthy. Give money to the starving Jews in Israel. There are videos and commercials. Starving Jews in Israel. $15 can feed a Holocaust survivor. Well, you're in Israel. Can't Israel feed you? See, this whole thing is so wide, ladies and gentlemen. It is a bottomless pit of evil, but it is a spider web of evil. And all that evil meets in the middle, and that is the New World Order. Again, Tragedy and Hope must be read by every American, by everybody. Written by Carol Quigley, Tragedy and Hope. You can get the PDF online free. It's a long read, but it explains everything and it turns it out into how it's happening. It's actually happening. We can see it happening from that book that was written in 1966. But all of this translates into death, ladies and gentlemen, abortion. Now, you got to understand that there's a reason why it serves them so well. In America, there are 1.2 million abortions annually.
During an interview on CNN.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Dornan, if I may finish, we have received contributions from people who want to support us because they want all welfare mothers and all black women to stop having
A certain
children.
percentage of those women are going to have mental problems, and they're going to need drugs to cure these mental problems, or to treat them for life in most cases. 155% more likely to commit suicide, and this is a key factor for these genocidal Club of Rome depopulation Baal and Molech worshippers. 155% more likely. That translates into 1.36 million women in this country each and every year at increased risk for suicide. Abortion causes suicide. For comparison, people who smoke are 15 to 30 times more likely to get lung cancer than those who do not. These are staggering, suppressed statistics, ladies and gentlemen, and they are 100% true. Abortion not only kills the child, but it kills many of the mothers and causes them to be dependent on the state, once again, when they fall into depression and all of these increased problems, losing their jobs and adding to the trouble in the society. The fact that they have to work, the fact that they've been pushed to work to say that women have this feminist right and all that, is another contributing factor to the decay in our society, breaking up the family. Things are not as they seem, ladies and gentlemen.